They are making a difference on 938 Live.
Matthew Quek is a local singer-songwriter who has been struggling with dyslexia his whole life. He tells us how he overcame his challenges with dyslexia with the help of music.
Music helps me to express the various things I went through that helped me to actually overcome dyslexia, which is a continual process because dyslexia is a lifelong handicap. And so you actually learn to overcome it in stages. So music was actually a means for me to express my frustrations as well as my gratitude to those who have believed in me in spite of my handicaps. So I would view music as a therapeutic, emotive instrument. It doesn't directly solve my dyslexic problem, but it helps me to express about it and provides an outlet for it. Yeah, because of this gift of music, I'm able to use it also to help encourage other people who may have similar struggles as well, and to help them to realize that there's more to life than just being regarded for your worth in terms of achievements in academic results or your workplace. There is much more to your life as an intrinsic value as a person. So music is useful for me in giving me a meaningful purpose to use music to help others.
Do you remember the first time that you managed to use music as therapy?
Yes. It so happened that there was this man who was close to retirement. He was pretty depressed. He was a friend of my father's, and he was actually very discouraged and disillusioned with life. And then he managed to listen to some of my compositions. One of the compositions was called Treasure, and it was about how we should treasure the relationships and of the people in our lives and what really is important about a person, which namely their inner person, their character, their heart. And strangely, I was quite surprised to hear that he became so interested in music. He attended my performances, and he bought the albums, and then he began to pick up guitar, began to pick up singing, and then he began to sing to other people, in his church as well as old folks' home, and it transformed his life. So I was quite surprised to hear how much the music had done to actually change his life about, and he's no longer depressed anymore. In fact, he's very cheerful.
That's amazing. So how else are you using music to help others who might be facing the same challenges you might have faced or you are facing?
Because I am a school teacher as well, I still am. So we will encounter students with learning difficulties as well. And the students knowing involved in music, it gives me a different platform in a sense, beyond academics, to actually engage them in the things that they're interested in. So I will engage them with the songs that they are listening to nowadays, the top 40s. And then from there, I will introduce various messages that various songs bring out. And then I will subtly introduce my songs, which to do with what's the person's true worth. So in a sense, there have been a number of students, some of my students now are even teachers now, and they tell me how they have been impacted by not just the music, but the message behind the music. It's more important that the message behind the music convinces them that their intrinsic worth is in who they are, what they do in their lives, the moral character they have, rather than what they can achieve per se.
Can we hear any of these intentions, any of these inspiring anecdotes within your current album, Yong Bao?
Yeah, the English title for that is Embrace, and the Chinese translation is Yong Bao. And yes, the song Yong Bao itself is actually the theme song which I composed for the Dyslexia Association of Singapore. There's both a Mandarin cover as well as an English cover of it. I composed it in about one day because I was quite inspired. And the whole song is about how we should embrace people for who they are and not because of what they achieve. I do feel, frankly speaking, and it may not sound politically correct, is that because of our system here, where we're so pressurized to produce results, we tend to overemphasize the extrinsic and tangible at the expense of the intrinsic. And that was my problem I faced growing up as a student in Singapore. I felt so ostracized, traumatized, ridiculed, and the kind of trauma I wouldn't want anyone else to go through it. So I became a school teacher to help those like me. And music is just another instrument which I use to help people like me who are struggling. After teaching so many schools over my 10 years of teaching, I realized that perhaps one of the most difficult problems students face is not so much lack of self-esteem. In fact, if students have lack of self-esteem, if you bring them up and nurture them, it's quite a good thing. In fact, they will remember you. But for those students who are proud and arrogant, it's very hard to get anything to them because they think they know everything. So I suppose music can be used as a tool, the message behind it, to either humble somebody to realize that they are not infinite and they are quite limited in many ways, or to help people who are limited to realize that there's more to life than just results, and there are people who value you for who you are. That's what you should work towards, actually.
Where can we find your album?
My album right now is on sale on iTunes as well as CD Baby. It's a digital launch, but my official album launch will be on the 6th of February at The Loft. The Loft is a shop house at Chinatown, where there's a performance venue at the shop house itself. It will be on 6th of February, Friday, 7:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m.
And that was singer-songwriter Matthew Quek. Thank you for listening. This has been They Are Making a Difference. I'm Daphne Lim.
They are making a difference on 938 Live.